Conscription for Australia or foreign fighters in our Defence Force? No, thank you. Not of my tax dollar. It's unnecessary. We got no business over in these wars overseas. It's got nothing to do with here. ADF, it's meant to be the Australian Defence Force, not the Australian Attacking Force. Okay? Conscription. Foreign fighters fighting for the Australian Army. Has it been given to the Australian people? Have we been asked what we want? Isn't that what referendums are for? To go to the Australian people and see what we want? How about we just defend Australia, make that our focus, keep our professional force, but make the majority of our defence force the defence force that defends this place. Okay? We don't leave these shores, and it can be made up of civilians, a civilian defence force. We haven't even been offered that option yet. We don't have to be professional soldiers. We don't have to spend hundreds of billions of more dollars than we already have. Why don't we have a civilian defence force that's low tech, that defends our land mass and our islands and territories, protects Australians or helps Australians in the need of natural disasters, bushfires, floods, droughts, storm cleanup, etc., etc. That's where we cut our teeth on logistics, training and things like that. I'm just putting it out there because I'm not hearing any talk of that. It's all conscription, national service, overseas foreigners joining our military force. Stop spending and wasting heaps of money. That's all the government does, and now Defence Force just wastes heaps of money. Let's do it on the cheap. Get some ideas from good Australians on how we can set up a civilian defence force, a civilian volunteer service. We don't want people who don't want to be there. We want people who want to be there, and anybody who wants to volunteer their time, learn skills, share knowledge. Doesn't matter how old or your physical capabilities. Anyone who has the desire and that flame in their heart to serve and to share knowledge and to learn, it should be encouraged. You know, unity. Instead of having a divided nation, we should at least allow us to have something that pulls us together. Okay? We come together when we have to. We should come together more often. So give us a civilian option. It has to be flexible. We've got all different types of people with different schedules. Single mums, single dads. Fly in, fly out workers. Construction workers that sit in gridlock traffic all the time. You know, we need a break, but allow us to be, give us our freedoms, give us the freedom to defend this place. You know, men should not be demonized anymore. We're all warriors. Everyone who comes from the Aboriginal people to the Pacific Island nations, to the Scottish, the English, the Germans, and all the other people who came here from Europe and wherever else around the world. We all have warrior blood in our DNA. It's natural for us to run, at least for some of us, to run to the flame. Okay? It's in my heart. It's in my DNA. It's in lots of other people's. So, let us do it. There's a lot of ways we can do this. Tax incentives. We have lots of four-wheel drive vehicles. Apparently, we've got the highest percentage of four-wheel drive vehicles per capita in the world. Why don't we make a defence force based around what we have right now? It'll boost manufacturing. We've got old railway lines and old towns that are ghost towns. they can be used to manufacture, and that can be the backbone. That can be the backbone of our strategic planning, our strategic defence force. If we have all of our eggs in one basket and everything's high-tech, digital, and relies on the internet, and we are attacked, or there is an EMP, nuclear bombs, whatever the worst case scenario is, if it's that bad and we need conscription, okay, if something that bad does happen, let's have a redundancy in a very basic, old school sort of foundation that keeps the water flowing, that keeps the toilets flushing, that keeps the hospitals open and the logistic hubs transporting. Okay, it's really not that hard. It should be put to the Australian people, and if some people just use a little bit of think outside the box a little bit, we can come up with a strategy to defend this place, and it doesn't have to cost hundreds of billions of dollars, and all of the weapons don't have to come from the US. Okay, we should be able to come up with some Australian plans, some Australian made stuff. And I like the philosophy of, I don't know who it was, but it's between a Swiss, one of the guys from Switzerland and the German Kaiser or whatever, and the Kaiser said to the Swiss guy, "You've only 100,000 men. What would you do if I attacked you with 200,000 soldiers?" And he said, "Well, my men would only have to shoot twice and go home." It's not exact, but you get the drift. If we have 5 million people who are marksmen, and they know how to use a high-powered rifle, and all the ammunition that they need is here. Everything that they need is here. We have our own homemade drones. We have enough defensive and anti-sea and anti-air capabilities, anti-drone. Australia should be, with the distance and the vastness that we have, if we had the capability of having very cheap, extremely cheap drones, people in wheelchairs, elderly people can put on some goggles and fly a drone, okay? But we also need training on how to detect drones, how to hide from drones, how to hide from thermal imaging, etc. So there's a lot of roles that we can do as a Dad's Army, as a home guard, to defend this place. We don't even have fire bunkers. We don't even have anything remotely like a bomb shelter. And as far as I'm aware, we're not even allowed to have anything that resembles some type of an underground shelter to protect us from fires or bombs or something like that. That's how insane and how far behind and how zero strategy there is. We only have a couple of railway lines and a couple of roads with bridges going to the top end of Australia. It wouldn't be hard at all to take out a dozen or so bridges and intersections, and the whole rest from Western Australia, this whole area can be cut off with a couple of dozen missiles. So we need redundancies, okay? And we have to forget about foreigners coming to our aid. The Australian people have got this. We can do this. We just haven't been set the task. We just need the task to be set. Let the Australian people come up with some ideas and let us vote. Let us have a say. Give us a referendum on how we're going to defend our nation.